Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. This episode of Welcome Home is brought to you by DVC Resale Market. Thank you for joining us on episode 297 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom, here with Trevor and Damon. How's it going, guys?
Good. I realize I miss our rumor section, and I just don't know what happened to it.
There haven't been that many rumors lately, I feel.
I mean, there's a lot of rumors.
Are there?
Rumors are where you find them. What about Disney saying that, rumor here, that Disney might go to all hand-drawn animation again?
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can add a rumor section back in if you want. Yeah.
I might have to. There's definitely been a few of them that have been interesting. Now, I just can't see that happening, but sure.
I don't necessarily frequent the Disney blogs that have rumors on them.
Yeah, I think that's the hard part is that rumors, there's definitely good ones like that, but some of those
but they're
blogs.
fun.
I do like rumors, yeah.
Yeah, it's just some of those sites just get so unhinged after a while.
It's so unhinged. That's the way to describe it.
They do. They really do. It's just you go down a rabbit hole and it's not a fun rabbit hole.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. No, listen, if you have rumors, add the rumors. And I mean, if anybody has rumors they want to send them our way. I mean, we'll put them in.
There's a rumor. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think that's possible, but
to go back to hand-drawn animation?
No, I just can't imagine that that's the case.
I mean, yeah, it seems like it would be unnecessary. Like, do people? I know some people care, right?
I definitely care. But I like hand-drawn animation better.
There is definitely some merits to doing it that way, and yeah,
does the general public care though? Is I guess what my
I don't know. I'm going to tell you though, Win or Lose is just keeps getting better and better. Oh my goodness! If you're not watching that, you are just missing out.
I'll have to check that out.
It is that good. Nice. I was pleasantly surprised.
Well, it's good. That's good. We actually, Damon, I put an animated show topic on here later down the line. So,
it's probably too far down for me.
Post as soon as we hit the ad, you don't look any further, right?
I gotta check out. Wait, I don't see it.
It's further down. John Favreau.
I don't care about Oswald though.
What?
Yeah, you heard me. I said it.
Okay. All right. We'll get into that. We'll get into that later. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So I wanna do another plug, one more plug for our 300th episode event. Again, if you want to join us, we are doing our 300th episode event on the 29th of March from 12 to 3 at a place called Old Mecklenburg Brewery in Charlotte, North Carolina. We would love to have you if you could come join us. It is a free event. It doesn't cost anything. We're going to have food. We're going to have drinks. We're going to have a good time there. So and we'll record an episode as well. So if you want to be on the episode, that's the way you can do it too. Because we're not just gonna, it's not going to just be the three of us talking. This is going to be it's going to be a mess of an episode, truthfully, but it's going to be fun. Right?
Usually is when we do live stuff.
Yeah. But if you want to join us, you just need to register for tickets. Like I mentioned, it is free. We're not charging anything. So we're just getting tickets so we can get a good head count. But you can either go on our Facebook page and find the event there or our group. You can also go to welcomehome.com/300event. And that will get you to the ticket site. We are kind of needing a final number here by next weekend. So by the 15th of March, we need a good number. So if you do intend on coming, please register as soon as you can, just so we can get that good head count. So yeah, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be fun.
I'm excited until you told me I need to use my phone for the microphone.
Oh, you don't have to. Well, I got this covered. Don't worry about it.
Okay, because then I realized, what if I'm bored?
No.
What am I going to do?
No, don't worry about it. I got it covered. We'll be fine.
I need my phone just in case you guys start talking Disneyland or something.
I mean, you can just, you can get up in the middle of the episode and go, have some barbecue or something.
That is true. I do like
you
that.
You can install Balatro on your phone and go play Balatro if you don't like us talking. Have you not played Balatro?
Oh, no. That is.
I've been playing.
It's an amazing card game. Go look it up.
I've been playing Wizardry Daphne, which is so good.
I don't know.
Oh, I forgot. I'm not allowed to talk about that stuff. All right. I'm sorry. It's not Disney related. Sorry.
That was a self-imposed ban,
Yes, that was a self-imposed ban.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk about too, and this kind of happened randomly. So
yeah. Okay. So I have some questions about this, but I'll let you start.
I'm sure you do. So everyone's been hearing me talk about my cruise, right? So I've got this, cruise coming up. It's from May 3rd to May 10th, right? So which is a Saturday. We're coming back on Saturday. And so we were coming back Saturday morning, and the original plan was we were just going to drive back to where my mom lives, about 2 hours from Port Canaveral, and stay there overnight on Saturday night and then drive home on Sunday. And, Trevor, you and I want to meet up while we're there because you're coming in on that Saturday.
Yes.
And I was like, well, how are we going to make
Saturday? Is it
Saturday evening, right? So I'm like, how are we going to make this work? Because I really want to meet up with Trevor. But also, like, I feel like this plan is that I have is like a waste. Because we're going to go back to my mom's house. Like, we're going to be off the ship early in the morning. Then we're going to spend the whole day in the retirement community my mom lives in. Like, my grandparents aren't even there, to entertain my daughter. So,
so it's just you sitting in a house.
Yes. What else? What am I going to do? I can't I don't even think I can go to the pool there. People under 55 are not, always looked upon greatly in that neighborhood. So, yeah, so I mean, I was like, well, why are we doing this, right? So, after I talked to you, Trevor, so I talked to Trevor on Friday night, and I was like, all right, well, we'll figure it out. And so then I think to myself, well, why are we doing this? Like, I feel like it's a wasted opportunity. So, what I pitched to my wife, and honestly, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was like, when you try to pitch something to your wife and you have to come up with every reason why you should do it. Just
did it start with okay, hold on. Did it start with okay, so here's what I'm thinking? Is that where it started?
Yeah. Well, because I'm just anticipating pushback, right?
Yeah.
And I just on the front end, right? So, and there's no reason why I think she would give me pushback, but it's just, I'm just waiting for it. So I'm like, how about we book a room, a DVC room on Saturday night. And then Saturday morning, we'll, drive from Port Canaveral. We'll drive to the resort and, we can go to one of the parks that day on Saturday during the day, stay overnight. And then on Sunday, we can do a full day at the park. And then after that day is over, we'll drive to my mom's, which is an hour and a half from Disney, stay overnight there, and then leave on Monday instead of leaving on Sunday. That was my pitch. Mm-hmm. And my wife's like, yeah, let's do that. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So now we're doing it. So we're going to come Saturday morning. We're going to come in. And so I was actually able to book Copper Creek Deluxe Studio, which I was shocked by, actually. I was surprised I was able to get something this late in the game.
Especially a studio, because studios usually are pretty popular.
I know they're about to go through, starting mid-May, they're doing a hard goods, they're doing a full refurb of Copper Creek. Not full refurb, but they're doing where they're redoing the rooms with new furniture and stuff. Yeah. And so I'm wondering if that maybe drove some people away from that, because I think probably a week after I'm there, they're starting construction on that whole area. So I don't know. But all I know is I was able to get a deluxe studio there. And so we're going to stay there just Saturday night. But we're going to, I figured why not, hop over to Epcot and, do some flower and garden stuff on Saturday, because we're going to be off the boat really early in the morning. I mean, we could be to Disney by midday, no problem. So, why not? And I mean, I have points, why not just
it totally makes sense.
It does.
So
the only thing I had to clear with my wife was she had to now take off Monday too. Right. So, and I had already taken off Monday because I tend to take a day to a recovery day from vacation, before I go back to work. Yeah. Yeah. So I already had that day off. So, we're good to go. It's all set up and ready to go. But I also did waitlist, by the way, Trevor. I waitlisted a room at the Poly Tower, the Island Tower. So,
I mean, yeah, you might as well try for it, right? You never know.
Yeah. Karen's like, can we stay there? Can we stay by Poly? And then we'll be by Trevor too. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys can get over there, that's awesome. That would be, that would work out perfectly, because I also wanted to check out the Wailulu.
The Wailulu. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, even if you guys are over at Wilderness Lodge,
that's easy.
Coincidentally, for our trip, we were planning to start in Magic Kingdom on the Sunday as well. So
look at that.
So we're both going to be in Magic Kingdom on the Sunday, which is I would still like to try and get around a mini golf in. Maybe
Saturday
later in the day. We're still going to do it Saturday night. Okay.
Yeah, Saturday we should still play it on mini golf. Yeah.
Perfect. And then Sunday we can. So Okay, I'm going to divulge some information to our listeners here that you've probably noticed that we've had some help with posts on the Facebook page and Instagram. We have a couple of people helping us. I guess
something we should have done a long time ago, honestly.
Yeah, and okay, so just so everyone knows who's listening to the podcast, we have Lee, who you've probably seen her in the group. She's helping us out, but we also have my wife Jen and Tom's wife Karen helping us out.
I just want to interject something here. You said we should have done a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Who suggested this a long time ago?
Well, you did.
I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back. I like doing it.
Listen, you can have credit for that. You're right.
Okay,
we should have done it a long time ago.
So the funny thing is coincidentally, my wife put up a post. I think it was either last night or today that said, which roller coaster is your favorite and which one should Tom ride next?
Oh, God.
And people are saying that you should ride Tron. And we're going to be in, but hold on, but we're going to be in Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, I know.
Me and my brother and you. I can drag you to Tron.
my wife will go on Tron with you, no problem.
Well, but
someone's got to watch my daughter.
I know, but I think it would be more fun to get you
walk on now.
Yeah, it is
standby
now, right?
Cute.
Yeah, it's standby.
Yeah. So
man,
maybe
am I gonna make the podcast make me go to Magic Kingdom when I go down now?
Maybe
just to go like one day at Magic Kingdom just to do Tron.
Yeah, you should.
You should. You absolutely should. I mean, personally, I would rather get you on Guardians, but since you're going to be in Epcot on the Saturday,
he's been on Guardians though. He's been.
I'm talking about you, Tom. But hold on, I have a question though.
Yeah. Me. Okay.
I'm talking about now. So you could really rope drop Tron at this point.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you can absolutely. Yeah.
That may make it more interesting. Maybe I will do that. I feel like it's going to be such a letdown, but like just because, like it might be a just because sort of thing.
I mean, you should do it. I will say my personal opinion is Guardians is a better coaster than Tron. Tron is okay, but I think you'll find that it's not.
Yeah,
it's
but
not
I've ridden Guardians like three times now, four times. Yeah, so like I just to say I've done Tron.
Yeah, and that's fair. And I've done both now, probably about 6 or 7 times. So
I thought the main criticism of Tron is just that it's too fast, that it's over quickly.
No,
right?
well,
is that the main problem?
It's not that it's over too quickly. It's honestly that after the outside part, the indoor part is kind of underwhelming. Like it doesn't feel as good as the outside part.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
That's my take on it. But anyway, like I said, we can. So Tom and I are both going to be in Magic Kingdom.
Is that what people are voting for? Is Tron
the 11th? Well, people have said Tron, so okay. we'll have some discussions. We got time to work up to it, but I know Tom is like, this is not happening. But
I know it's not going to happen.
I'll try.
I'm actually I'm disappointed that Big Thunder is still closed because I the past like 3 trips now I have not gotten to go on Big Thunder, and then this trip probably would have been a chance for me to do it, but it's closed. So
the time you would have spent lining up for Big Thunder, you can use on Tron now. So
this isn't happening. Well, we'll see. Maybe my wife will convince me. She'll, we'll try. So that's what's happening. It was not a planned trip, but it just makes sense. And it's funny because I think it was Becky maybe in the Discord was like, well, you're doing this in the reverse way. You should go to the park before the cruise, which, I'm sure a lot of people do, but my sister-in-law and brother-in-law are doing that, right? They're coming down early for the cruise. They're going to take their kids to the parks for a couple days and then go on the cruise. But it just kind of makes more sense for us because we have that whole weekend, basically. The cruise ends at, 9:00 in the morning on Saturday. Also, we got a whole weekend,
Yeah, and also just the timing of the fact that we just happen to plan a trip at the same time. Yeah, outside circumstances say that you're right. I think this makes more sense too.
That day, though, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be surprised at how tired you are because you're going to have to get up earlier than you probably did the rest of the cruise.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that first day is man, the first day off is a little rough. And then I have people I've never had that reverse sea leg sort of thing. Like I haven't had it. Nor has anyone in my family, but I was talking to somebody recently that had it for like 3 days after getting off the boat.
God.
Yeah.
Jeez. No, I don't disagree with that. It's funny because I said that to my wife. I was like, are we going to be too tired on Saturday doing it?
Oh, you're going to be tired.
Well, she's
you
like,
can nap. You can nap in the middle.
We could. But she was also like, isn't the cruise supposed to be relaxing? I'm like, yeah, but we're going to be busy. Like, we're going to be doing
it's not that it's not relaxing. It's just that you relax yourself until waking up later. And then that last day, you got to get up early because you got to get breakfast.
It's a shock to your system. I think that's what it is.
You don't want to miss breakfast on the day out because you just feel like for the money, like, well, you're not paying though, right?
No. But I still don't want to miss breakfast, though. I mean,
you might not care as much then. Like, you might not have to do a full sit down jam. Like, it's all kind of sit down with your people, but it's at one location, or you could just grab and go. But
yeah. Well, listen, my daughter's up at 6 a.m. every day, no matter what we do. So I don't know if that's actually going to change.
You're going to be up at 6 a.m. trying to leave. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm just saying,
it's a different stress level.
On the cruise, I expect us to probably be up around between 6 and 7 every day, just based on how my daughter is.
You're going to be worn out.
I hope so. I hope that's the case, man.
That'll make Epcot easy because you can take it slow and you don't have to that's the other thing. To that point, though, I was like, maybe we don't do a stroller this time. But if she's going to be like wiped out, though, on that day, we might have to do a stroller. But I wasn't going to do one. Yeah, we do have that too. Yeah. I was thinking, well, let's go stroller-less because she's 7. So I mean, I as long as she's bigger now, and I feel like we don't need the stroller as much anymore. But I mean, if we're going to do it, mistake. You think so?
Yeah, that would be a big mistake.
Yeah, because I mean, especially since she's probably going to be tired from the cruise. I mean, I guess I could just rent one there. I mean, that's not.
You could do that. That's what we did one day. Like honestly. Probably
easiest, so I don't have to cart it there.
Yeah, podcast got you. Podcast got you.
And I will say this is that when my son was 6, we were in Disneyland. I didn't have a stroller, but I was definitely carrying my son a lot. The difference there is, the amount of space that I'm having to walk wasn't nearly as bad. If it was Disney World, I think we would have considered a stroller as well. But yeah, kids do get tired a lot quicker at that age. Like I remember my son trying his hardest to stay awake for the fireworks as we were sitting at Jolly Holiday. And then, I just picked him up and carried him back to the room after that. So, you'll probably want to do the same thing with your daughter is get her a stroller.
I could see us, here's the thing on Magic Kingdom, right? I could see us rope dropping and going open to close on that day because we're only there for that day, right? So, I mean, and we're not really going to have the hotel room to go back to, right? So,
and I mean, she can sleep in the car, right? It's
she can sleep.
Your endurance, I guess.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's such an easy drive back to my mom's from Disney. Like it's like literally a highway the whole way there. It's super simple.
Oh, okay.
So so it should be really, really easy to pull off if we can. And I would love to stay all the way for the fireworks, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. She just might not have the stamina for that. But like you said, if we have a stroller, then she could just, nod off in the stroller and then we'll be fine. But it's also going to be, we went to Disney last year around this time and it was miserably hot. So I hope it's not going to be that hot, but we'll see. But anyway, so that's the new plan. And I would love just to end up staying at the Island Tower if I can. But, I don't know if we'll get that or not. Because, obviously it's a really popular resort at the moment. So we waitlisted it and it's, obviously fairly last minute too.
Yeah, you never know. It's
you never know.
People do cancel and
you could have a last minute cancellation. Tom has SXSW on his agenda. Wow.
Because Disney announced a lot of stuff at South by Southwest. They did
post a bunch of stuff, which we did post on the group and whatnot. But we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff that happened at South by Southwest, so we got to talk about it. It just happened, too. This is like really fresh news, too.
Okay, where are we starting?
Let's start where...
There's a couple of good ones here, I have to admit.
Yeah, there's a couple of... I actually think there's a lot of interesting stuff this episode. So,
all right, I think we should start with the one that I like the least. Or that I care about the least.
Mandalorian.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm making somebody mad, and I'm sorry. But okay, the first thing they announced is that Memorial Day weekend. This is next year. Okay, I thought this was this year, but okay.
No.
So they're changing out Smuggler's Run, where instead of the current storyline, they're going to add a Mandalorian and Grogu.
Wait, there's a movie coming out?
Yeah, they're doing a movie next year. Yeah,
it's terrible.
You didn't know this?
I don't know.
They announced this a while ago.
My Mandalorian interest is just a click above Trevor's.
It's just, I don't know. Like, it's so.
Here's my thing, though.
Yeah. It's a good show.
It's like, if you're going to start me at television, keep me at television. Like, don't make me change. Movie. Yeah, like I don't like that. Like the new, Karate Kid 2. I want to watch Legends. I don't like going to the theater. I don't like it. So now you're forcing me to have to wait and then avoid spoilers. I mean, I don't know what spoilers is going to be in The Mandalorian and Grogu, but like, I just don't like that, man. Like, you start TV, let's continue with TV.
I get it. I feel like Disney hasn't done one of these change a ride and movie out at the same time things in a while. I'm trying to think of the last one where they did that kind of cross promotion.
Usually the ride change up comes well after the movie. It's like they use the movie as the testing ground. You're right. It's kind of weird that they're doing it like at the same time.
Well, I mean, they used to do this stuff all the time, though. Like, Dinosaur is called Dinosaur because they were promoting the movie Dinosaur, right? Like, so, and also Splash Mountain was called Splash Mountain for some reason, to promote the movie Splash. But it's, I feel like they don't do it as much as they used to do it. They used to do it a lot. And I'm trying to remember the last time they did a cross promotional thing like this.
Yeah.
With a ride. I'm sure somebody will remind me on Facebook. I'm sure there's one that's like pretty obvious that I'm just not remembering. But listen,
but I guess from the ride standpoint, I don't know how much it's going to affect Smuggler's Run. Like, because it feels like I've done Smuggler's Run like twice, and I'll admit, like, the last time we went, we didn't even do it at all because the current. Yeah. Well, the line was long, but also the storyline doesn't really feel like much. Like it's, I don't know. It feels like just barely a step above Star Tours.
Well, yeah, that ride's all about pushing buttons and running exactly. Into things. Like that's really what that ride's about. Yeah.
So I feel like what are you going to do that's so like Mandalorian Grogu? It's like you change out some of the audio lines, or like
probably Grogu's probably going to show up on a screen somewhere, right? Like doing Grogu things.
Yeah. Doing Grogu things.
I mean, listen, it's not bad to update a ride. I mean, I think that's a good thing, probably.
I'm just trying to imagine how this will impact the ride. But
what ship is it though? I mean, it's still the Millennium Falcon, right?
I think it's still the Millennium Falcon, but
that's lame.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to match up.
Can you change out the ship? I guess
because the ship is right in front of the attraction, right? So like the whole conceit of the attraction is that you're getting onto that ship that's right there.
I'm saying they've taken me out of it.
All right. Well, then we don't have to talk about that one anymore. We can talk about
that. That's the low one on the totem pole here. So let's see what.
Then we're going to Monsters Inc. coaster.
No, we're going to talk. I was going to do Cars next.
Yeah, I think Cars. So Cars is next because it's again not quite. I think the Monsters Inc. one is the most interesting. I think we should do it at least to most interesting.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
I would argue that order, but sure, I'll go with you.
I think they're both really interesting personally, but okay.
The Cars one feels a little less interesting. Like it's cool that they are testing out. So that they did this video where they're testing out terrain, like they've got like an off-road park where they're testing out terrain, which they said they're going to 3D model into the
if they do ride. That's going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. But what I took from that is not that you're going to get a proper off-road track. You're going to get it's going to be a concrete track modeled after you would find in an off-road track. But of course, yeah, you're right. Is that'll be cool. And again, for those that have ridden Radiator Springs Racers, that it's not going to be the fastest ride, but it'll definitely be fun. Like they're definitely touching on a lot of fun elements, and off-roading, for anyone that has done off-roading, it's not always about going the fastest. It's doing crazy jumps and stuff.
That they do something where like there's like a winner of the race. I know that it's going to be, it would be great to have 4 cars, right? Side by side by side by side. And like a different one wins each time.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what I wish.
You need to ride Radiator Springs Racers.
Is it like that?
That's exactly what they do on Radiator Springs Racers.
Okay.
Well, maybe they'll do it here then too. Yeah. I mean,
because you actually race side by side, and one car, it varies, but one car wins. Like at the last second, one car pulls ahead and there's a winner. And that, you're right. That is a fantastic element of this kind of thing, because it adds like when you're like cheering on your car, even though like it doesn't matter at the end of the day, it's just
you
fun,
can't change anything.
right?
But
it's super fun. It's fun.
I tell you what, it's looking very good that the cross country trip is going to happen, not this summer, but next summer. So we'll be there.
Nice.
Disneyland.
But
all right.
But it's great that they're adding something like that in.
Yeah.
Like that's what this off-road park thing looks like. Is it's going to be just
This looks
fun,
better than
right?
Monsters Inc. I'm sorry, Trevor.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, because
we don't really have much information about Monsters Inc. other than the looking, right? Yeah.
Well, but based on what it looks very much like Forbidden Journey at Universal. Like it looks like it's going to be a similar sort of ride scheme.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I don't have a point of reference on that because I haven't ridden Forbidden Journey yet, but I will be riding it in May. So I'll
let me know, because I have a feeling. Listen, and that's a great ride, and I think there isn't anything like that at Disney, so it makes sense to bring something similar there. So I'm on board with that. But for me personally, because I have ridden the other one, I don't know if it holds the same newness factor.
Sure,
but it does look cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're even trying to say that they're doing anything different here. That's just new for them, right? Like,
yeah.
But just can we talk cars still for a second? I didn't really. Before we get there, I thought it was interesting because they're doing a whole new type of ride vehicle for this. So, I mean, I think it's probably going to be similar to what Dinosaur and Indiana Jones is, right? But
could be.
But I mean, they're saying here
up newness.
Yeah, exactly. They're saying for this Cars attraction, we need to invent a new type of vehicle. And so like each car, kind of like you were talking about, Trevor, at Radiator Springs, like each car is going to be different, right? So like, and they actually showed some concept art of all the different kind of car types here, which is pretty cool. Because like it's not just going to be even the same kind of car body. Although it's interesting, these sketches look like they're enclosed. I doubt this ride vehicle is going to be enclosed, right? I mean, I don't know, but
I can't imagine it would be enclosed because you've got all that like. It like the terrain and everything around is part of it. Like you should feel like you're in like an ATV, which ATVs are not closed in. So yeah.
The interesting thing I thought about, I saw about this was that they're not just like taking these like mopeds and stuff on this off-road course. They have instruments measuring the feeling of what they're doing, what they're going through, so that they can replicate it, which I think is pretty cool. It's not just that they're feeling it for themselves so they can later programming it. They're basically programming it by actually doing it, which is kind of cool. I do wonder how they're going to pull this off though, because I mean, how are you going to do that with it? It's obviously going to be on a track, right? But how are they going to make that also feel like you're still off-roading? Right?
Have you seen what they've done with 3D printing in concrete? Yeah,
I've seen some of the stuff you're talking about. Yeah, are you saying that's what they're going to do?
I feel that's what they're going to attempt here. Is that there's lots of opportunity to make use of scanning technology combined with 3D printing.
Yeah,
means that whatever the layout of the track is that they decide on, you'll get a 1-to-1 translation of it from the testing area to the ride itself.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom, are you talking about what the track looks like or how it feels?
Both, because
I think how it feels. I mean, look at Dinosaur and Indiana
Dinosaur
Jones,
feels
right?
like you're off-roading.
Yeah. So I don't think that's a far stretch.
Yeah, and that's entirely the vehicle doing it because those rides are just flat. But
they can hide it in Dinosaur, right? Because like it's pitch black in there, right? Like this is going to be out in the open, you're going to have to see what you're coming up on. So it's going to be. I feel like it's a little bit different, but you're right. I mean, I think
think about it. They lift one side to go over something. Like I don't think it's that.
I just want it to be believable.
Technology's it's going to be a problem.
I guess to that point, though, like the difference here is that this is going to be an outdoor ride and it's going to be visible. And if you're, standing watching the ride and you see a bunch of, pneumatics moving the side up and down, you
could just hide the sides. I mean,
but it's still
on a hill.
It's still like I guess breaking the illusion is riskier when people can actually watch the car in motion versus like on Dinosaur and Indiana Jones you don't ever really get to see what the cars are doing, right? You won't
But think about it. If you're looking from the side, it's up a concrete hill, the wheels are fake and they're at the level of the concrete, but the ride stuff is underneath that. It's going to look like you are without you doing. So I don't think the Imagineers are going to have a hard time with that one. I think they'll be good.
I think you're right. I just, like you also want the dust kicking up and all that stuff, but you're just not going to have that. But you're right. It will.
I mean, you could have like water spray as dust. There could be. Listen,
that's true.
I'm not too worried about that. They usually do a pretty good job with this stuff.
I agree. And I think this is going to be interesting because they have done the track thing before, and this is off-roading, which is a totally different thing. And so it's interesting how that's going to look when they actually do it. But yeah, this is cool that we got this look at it. I'll be interested to see what these ride vehicles end up looking like. And obviously I think it's going to be a takeoff of like the Indiana Jones and dinosaur ones, but maybe just like, 3.0 or 2.0, of that ride vehicle. Yeah.
I feel it'll be, you're right. It'll have some elements of that, but I feel like it'll be closer to Test Track / Radiator Springs Racers in terms of the speed of it, because Dinosaur and Indy, they're not fast rides at all. I feel this will have sections where you will get, it's not going to be like Test Track crazy fast, but you will get to open it up and,
inside of Test Track, the inside part.
Yeah, exactly.
The inside part of Test Track. Exactly. Yeah. So we'll find out more about this soon, I'm sure. But and they're giving little pieces out here and there of it, but it does look cool. This is definitely a different thing, and I love when they do stuff like this. And I think part of this video, I think they actually built this. Yeah, they built this whole park for it, right? So for some reason, I thought they said they built it outside of Magic Kingdom, but obviously they did not. So
no, this is somewhere else. Definitely.
Yes, somewhere else. But yeah, so this is what they're doing, and this is something that they had. They also mentioned too, by the way, it says these are all things Lightning McQueen and Mater haven't experienced before, like racing over rocky terrain, ascending to mountain peaks, and dodging around geysers. So this is it's gonna be really interesting. I'm excited to see how this turns out.
Yeah,
what were you gonna say, Damon? Sorry.
No, I said yeah, I agree. I put this above Monsters.
Well,
personally.
The thing I'm noticing about the monsters, I watched the video, right? And the interesting thing to me is that the ride vehicle, like the chairs themselves, seem like they spin, they have a controlled spin to them like Guardians does.
Exactly. That's what's piquing my interest, because that like, and I know you're saying, Damon, that, Guardians it's not doing anything new, but correct. As far as storytelling goes, and being able to better utilize the cars and the track system, I think this will make for a very interesting ride. I think it'll. Oh yeah. I think it'll be a great roller coaster, even if it's not the newest whatever.
Well, I think it will. I would say that it will be a great ride, not a great coaster, right? And I'm good with that.
Well, yeah.
If you can bring me, right? if you can bring me in, the thing I also don't like about Guardians a little bit is like, there's a part of it where like I know I'm on a coaster. I hope that this is a little tighter, right? So I hope that this is tight enough that like you kind of feel like you're like in the movie rather than on a coaster. There's parts of the track of Guardians, like I said, where you kind of just see and feel, yeah, I'm on a coaster. Like, this is cool. I guess I'm on a coaster. I wanted this to be a little tighter, I hope.
I guess the difference is with like in terms of if you're talking about the immersion of it, is Monsters Inc. You're on a rail. The whole premise of it is
the movie is on a rail. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think to your point, that's not going to break anything, because you're already being suspended underneath of this thing, and there's always going to be this rail above you.
I want the sides to be well done. Like, again, I think back to things like Guardians, but even further back, like Peter Pan's such a good ride. But like, think about like one of the reasons I like Navi River Ride so much is it feels a little bit closer to that all-encompassing immersion. I wish they went with half the boats. I understand you can't. But if you went with like half the boats, it darn might be perfect immersion level. So
that you don't see
similar monsters.
So you mean that you don't see people in front or behind you?
Correct.
It's just like,
I mean, I'm not looking behind, so yeah, but just in front of you, yeah.
I would think it would be really cool if they made it so that there's separation between each one of the ride vehicles, and there's like you could see a door. You know what I mean? Like, what you're seeing in front of you is not the car in front of you, but you're actually seeing a door in front of you.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
To see everything cool coming up is the problem.
That's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem.
Do you know what would be incredibly wild? And I know none of the concept art leans towards this, but if each section of, so like there's 2 seats per section, right?
Yeah.
if those could actually break off and like if there was separating tracks, but like think about like in the movie, right? How like doors like set like there's split tracks and separation and stuff. Like they could do something like that.
I'm sure they'll have some of that, but it's everyone's gonna go the same way. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure they'll have like a fake looking split that you're never gonna go to one side, but it makes it look like you might. Right. You know what I mean?
It would be cool if half of your coaster split though, and so
that would be cool.
And again, it comes back to the same thing as like Radiator Springs Racers, where when you there's something about when you get another ride vehicle beside you, it's very like it just feels different, like you're racing somebody else. It's always that like you're not just in a roller coaster train. You're racing the vehicle next to you. It's the same kind of thing that happens on the Matterhorn again in Disneyland, is that you get cars going side by side, and it's a weird element that you don't see a lot of people talking about in rides, is that having that side by side thing actually does add more to the ride.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's part of why, honestly, and I hope you do it while you're there, Trevor, but that's part of why I like really like things like Rise and Mickey and Minnie's, where you can like, you never know where the car's going to go, right? Like you don't know where, and there's a lot of that in the trackless vehicles, and you have that in
Trevor's never done those? You never done those?
He hasn't never done Rise.
I've done Mickey and Minnie's. I've not done Rise yet. We just have not been able to do Rise yet.
Yeah, but it's like that though, because you just never know where you're going to go. You're like, you can. The only problem with some of those things is that they leave like the tire tracks on the ground, so you can kind of see the predefined paths that they go on. But there's only so much they can do about that. But yeah, I mean, it's that kind of thing where you split up and you go different places, and maybe you start at the beginning of the train and Mickey and Minnie's, and you end up at the end. Like it's that kind of stuff is cool, and I've always liked when they do that.
Yeah, and I hope that for Monsters Inc. like. It's not that they've necessarily shown us everything about it yet.
No.
Yes,
right? Like I know they've just given us we've gotten just the only thing that I took from it is that the vehicles do move, or they turn independently. Yes. And the fact that it's a suspended coaster, I think, is going to we haven't had a suspended coaster yet at
ever
at Disney,
the first one. Yeah.
So I think it's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to it.
I don't think they previously announced the fact that it turns, and I don't even think they mentioned that the cars turn at any point. They just show it in the video. Like they don't even say that they turn independently. So yeah, interesting, right?
All right.
There is about the next one.
Yeah,
what do you mean, who cares about the next one?
Robert Downey Jr. makes a surprise appearance. Woohoo! Okay, great.
Well, okay, there was the Robert Downey Jr. appearance, but it also leads into them showing off the ride vehicles for this new Stark Flight Lab is what it's called,
which he's working on with them, and he's very excited about.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're doing this. It kind of looks like we talked about this before when they previewed it, where it like reminds you of like the old Innovations.
It is the Innovations, the Cyberspace Mountain coaster.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah, like that's what they're doing. They did talk about a little bit more about that, and I guess he's working on it too. But I mean, listen, it may not be a big deal to you, but I mean, for a lot of people, they got very excited that Robert Downey Jr. was there and showed up at the parks panel randomly. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess obviously it wasn't random because they planned it, but
yeah, exactly. There is one last takeaway on here that actually I didn't read this previously in the blog post, but apparently, so they say this Monday there's going to be a Imagineering episode on the Walt Disney YouTube channel.
Yeah,
which is kind of an odd choice. That they're announcing something on YouTube, but apparently they're also, or part of it is that they're talking about or the sentence before mentions them talking about things they're doing with Haunted Mansion and other rides, which I didn't think there was anything else that needed to be done with Haunted Mansion, but maybe other than like stop doing the overlay every year in Disneyland. But I don't know. I mean, I guess that would be an announcement as far as I'm concerned.
Sure. But by the way, I just want to go back to the Tony Stark thing. I didn't watch the actual video. The video is pretty cool, actually, of the ride vehicle. I missed that. Did you actually watch it?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
because it's cool how it like slides into place and then the arm kind of grabs it and then it does like the whole thing it does. That's going to be really an interesting ride.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be interesting, but again, the big problem I have with those rides is that they are for people that have like motion sickness and stuff. That's it's a limiting ride, unfortunately. It looks cool, but it's, for me, it's, it's not something that I will go and do by myself. And if it was just me and my wife going there, which is actually going to be the case like later this year, I know this won't be open by then.
That won't be there yet, yeah.
But this is like, well, I'm skipping that ride. That's my only thing is that I wish that every new ride didn't always have to be like something motion sickness inducing.
I understand. Yeah. I get that. No, that makes sense. But yeah, no, I will definitely, like you said, I'll look at I'll definitely watch that We Call It Imagineering episode thing. Cause I love, I love that kind of stuff. So,
oh yeah. So yeah, I guess anybody listening to this episode on Monday, there is that episode coming out on Monday. If it's after Monday, the episode's already out.
It's on YouTube too. It's not on. I don't think it's on Disney Plus. I think it's just on YouTube.
Yeah, they said it's only coming on YouTube is what the announcement says. Which again is like, it's weird that
it is weird.
Like, why would they not put it on both platforms? But I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's do our ad and then we'll talk about a couple other things. How's that sound?
All right. Yeah.
Anything else about South by Southwest you guys want to bring up? I mean, I don't think there were any other announcements outside of that. Actually, a couple of the other topics we have after this were announced there too. So
we can talk about them after the ad.
All right, the sponsor of this episode is DVC Resale Market. DVC Resale Market, a World of DVC company, is the leader in the DVC resale industry with 13 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 3 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days. In 2024, DVC Resale Market helped over 4,400 families join or add on to their memberships. Go to dvcresalemarket.com/welcome home or call 1-844-DVC-PROS. That's 1-844-382-7767. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you. And I just bought and sold with them. So, the process is very, very easy to do. I'm now just waiting. The long part is waiting for Disney to load your points into your membership, which takes They warn you up front. They said it can take like 30 days, but like my old contract's already gone. It's not in my profile anymore, but the new points are not in, even though I already got a welcome email from DVC saying, welcome to DVC. Like I'm a new member or something. I which is weird. But
I'm sure it's just an auto email thing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, it seems that they're on their own time for doing point allocations.
It's fine. I don't need the points right now. I'm not like concerned about it, but it's, it's just funny to me that my old points are already gone, but the new points are not in yet. So I'm assuming they're going to show up this week.
And I would assume if you called member services, they could probably help do something to speed it up. Like I feel like they're just going to do it whenever. But if you said like, hey, I'm trying to book a trip, they would probably, try and get it in there sooner than later.
I don't know if they can speed that stuff up or not. I have no idea. I mean, maybe they can. I don't know.
Might be worth a phone call.
I don't really care. I don't need them. I'm fine. I can wait. So
what if you need more points to get the island tower?
I don't. You know what? Here's the surprising thing, Trevor. So the Wilderness Lodge, it's Copper Creek, but the Copper Creek room was 16 points for the one night of Deluxe Studio. And I forget, I think it was just a resort view or whatever. Mm-hmm. But to do a regular view at the island tower, it's only 4 points more. It's only 20 points. So it's not bad at all. I was expecting more than that, but it's only 20. And now given it's not theme park view is like even more points. But as my wife said, we're there for one night. We're there to sleep. It's not, we don't need a theme park view for one night, So
I mean, okay, that's
well, the other part was that we
disagree, but okay.
Well, no, but listen, the other part though is that we were thinking that, a regular view studio would probably be easier to get than a theme park.
True.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So that was the other thought. So anyway,
do we want to talk about droids?
Yeah.
No, we want to talk about the animation because I'm zoning out already.
Okay, so you want to talk about this Jon Favreau thing?
I mean, I don't want to because I don't like it, but sure, let's talk about
it. So Jon Favreau has been doing like seemingly nonstop work for Disney is now going to create a series that's blending animation and live action featuring Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. So it sounds like Roger Rabbit, but with Oswald, kind of.
Yeah, but why?
Why not? They haven't done anything with Oswald in forever.
I feel like Oswald is like protected media. Like you just don't do stuff with him, man.
Well, I mean, that's probably why they haven't done stuff for so long.
But why now?
I don't know.
I don't like their new, like, we already talked about this. I don't necessarily love those shorts that they have, and I feel like it's going to be the same sort of vibe, and I don't love them anyway. And I feel like the character's kind of sacred, so this is not for me.
This sounds like more like a show and not necessarily like shorts.
Yeah, no. I mean, but what I'm saying is I don't like the style / humor / animation of those shorts.
Gotcha.
So I'm hopeful that it's
1930s animation.
No. Is that what it is? Is that what the new shorts are like? They're based on 30s animation.
I'm watching the Oswald one. It looks like Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, they use like the old style of it, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not too hype about this, man. Like, go make a new character. I mean, there's some good stuff coming from Disney that I'm excited about, but this is not it.
This Oswald's actually public domain now too, so this is
maybe that's why they're trying to do something with it.
That's actually probably exactly why they're trying to do it.
Oh yeah, I mean that would make a lot of sense. I can't really hate on the business acumen if that's the case.
Yeah, it went public domain 2 years ago, but if they create a new version of it, then that version will not be public domain anymore. So that's all they really have to do. Because like the funny thing about public domain is sure, like the Steamboat Willie Mickey is public domain, but all the other Mickeys are not. You know, like it's kind of this weird thing where every time they have a new version, they basically resets for that version. You know, so if they create a new thing for Oswald, then I mean that's a new property basically, and they. You know,
I'm just not looking forward to it.
I love the idea of a live action hybrid, though. Like, I feel like we haven't seen one of those in a while. No,
we saw Chip and Dale.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're right, but that one I like that though. It's fun.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
I haven't watched Roger Rabbit in forever. I feel like I need to watch that.
Yeah, I feel like Roger Rabbit was such lightning in a bottle. Like, I don't know that you'll ever be able to recreate it. And like to your point, Damon, like, you know, Oswald is like
a sacred character.
It doesn't feel like you know, you say, oh, they're making an Oswald show, and I'm going, okay, why do I want it? Like, I feel like not everything needs to be brought forward and brought out of public domain. Like, and I get, yes, you know, Oswald was, you know, Walt Disney's first character and all that, and again, that's where the sacred part comes in. But it's like, do you need to do that? And like. Yeah, would that time be better spent, you know, inventing a new character and doing like I guess the thing about Roger Rabbit was there was no precedent for Roger Rabbit. Like it was, you know,
it's kind of amazing
that
movie
created.
It's kind of amazing that movie even got made by Disney. Like it's a crazy.
Well, I mean, it wasn't. It was created under one of their like it was under like Touchstone or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, so like to that point is it's like. You know, the problem with Oswald is that there is a precedent and an expectation that it's like, well, this is a Walt Disney character. You can't push boundaries with it. So I agree with Damon here that, you know, it should be a newer, or they would have better spent their time making a new IP and you know, still doing the mixed animation live action hybrid, but I feel like Oswald, they're not going to be able to do everything that you think they should do with that type of show.
I mean, you could be right. We really don't know what the structure is going to be, right? So like it's going to be interesting to see how this actually shakes out, right? But I also it's interesting to me that they have Jon Favreau doing this because it feels like he does a lot of other stuff for the company, right? He did, you know, Jungle Book and the Lion King and obviously the Mandalorian stuff and. But this is a little bit different territory for him. I don't know if he's ever done like animation before, but he's a good director though. So I mean, I tend to believe that he's going to do a great job with this. I mean, he's writing and producing it too. So, you know, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see it. I love the whole thing with Oswald, that Oswald was, so the whole reason, I'm sure people know this, the whole reason that Walt Disney and iWorks created Mickey Mouse was because Oswald was their main character, and Oswald got taken away from them. They didn't own Oswald. Yeah. It was owned by Universal, and so Oswald got taken away, and so they had to create a new character, and Mickey was the new character. But Oswald was, pretty much the original, right? So
yeah, and the rights to Oswald just got bought back like in the last 20 years, kind of thing. So it's,
well, yeah, remember, that's also one of my favorite stories too, because they did a trade for Al Michaels. Yeah, they wanted, I guess Fox wanted. I'm sorry, not Fox. NBC wanted Al Michaels, and so they traded Oswald the Lucky Rabbit for Al Michaels, which is such an insane thing. Like, I feel like that's not a thing you ever hear about anymore happening in the corporate world, right?
Yeah, I mean, being traded for a cartoon character, I feel like would be insulting.
How would you feel? Yeah, like how would you feel about that? Yeah, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Yeah, so
your worth to us is the same as this animated character.
Yeah, I literally. So they got the rights to Oswald and the original 27 shorts. And this was back in 2006. They did this. So you're right. Within the last 20 years, it was 19 years ago, and they got an exchange. They got Al Michaels, went from ABC to NBC. It's such a funny thing that's the way that happened. But I don't know. You'd think that Al Michaels would have some say in this, but regardless, anyway. But I'm just interested to see what they do. I think it'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm curious, but like I said, I feel like, saying it'll be like Roger Rabbit. The thing about Roger Rabbit was that they could absolutely do whatever they wanted with Roger Rabbit. And to that extent, though, it was subject to failure because of it. The problem with Oswald is that because it is it is I don't want to say it's a flagship Disney IP, but it's definitely like, it's a big known part of Disney history and all that kind of stuff. I feel that, as much as Jon Favreau is a good director and all that, he's going to get his hands tied by, no, we can't do that with this character. No, we don't want, to portray things a certain way. Right. Like it's
true. Yeah.
Because if you look back at Roger Rabbit, there was some racist stuff in that movie. There was a lot of stuff in that movie that, for being a kids movie, it was, borderline not.
Oh yeah, no, it was. I feel like it was not at all.
Yeah, I mean, between Jessica Rabbit and
Jessica
then
Rabbit,
and then Judge Doom, Doom. Judge Doom was Christopher Lloyd's character. Yeah. Like that was like nightmare inducing, right?
I mean, but at the same time, though, Oswald was, his like personality was kind of like, he was kind of I'm not going to say he was, I don't know. I'm trying to think of how to describe it, but his characters, he's like a little like funnier and edgier and not edgy,
more mischievous than Mickey Mouse.
Mischievous. Yes, exactly. That's probably the good word. More mischievous. So to your point, though, you're right. They are going to probably be a little bit precious about what they do with this, right? They're going to be careful not to besmirch the name of Oswald. But it'll be, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. I just think it's kind of cool that they're bringing back an old character like this, and especially one that Disney started, lost, brought back again, and it was, the precursor to Mickey. So
it should be weird.
What'd you say?
Should be weird.
Yeah, I hope it's super weird. Actually, I love super weird stuff.
Me too. I like it when things don't follow the formula, I guess, for how shows seem to be produced nowadays. So yeah.
All right. So the other thing we got, and I think this was also from South by Southwest as well, was about the BDX droids. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen these, they're very cool, right? So they're little tiny droids that can walk. They're, I guess, what do you call that? Bipedal robots. And they can kind of walk around. I think they technically can work kind of independently, or at least with the assistance of a cast member. But
they're autonomous. But yes, there's usually a cast member supervising them. But the idea is that they they're not being remote controlled. They're kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the video, there's a video out there of them testing them at Disneyland in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and it's almost like the cast member does like hand movements, like, you know, or commands them by voice too. And it's really kind of neat how these things are. First of all, they're adorable, right? Like,
yes,
they're adorable little robots. If there's anything that Star Wars is good at is creating person-like robots that people find adorable, right? That's
cute robots is definitely been a thing. Yeah,
that's definitely a lane for Star Wars. So what's interesting about this is that these droids, they built, I think they only had 3 of them, but I assume they are building more of them because these were like proof of concept, right? Mm-hmm. And now these are showing up in all sorts of different places. So I thought this was interesting. I didn't even read this in the news that these showed up on the Wish, on the Disney cruise ship, the Wish, which I was like, really? That's kind of random, but cool. That they were walking around on the Wish, like that's new. But they're also this. You know, we complain a lot that Galaxy's Edge at Disney World doesn't get all the fun stuff that Disneyland Galaxy's Edge does. But finally, these are also going to show up at Disney World too, which is great.
Disney World sorely needs, because I feel like, like you said, Galaxy's Edge and Disney World
doesn't seem to get quite nearly the same love. And because of that, like the couple of times that I've been to Galaxy's Edge, I've found it to be very, like, it's a great set, but there's nothing going on.
There's no movement or anything going on there. Yeah.
And a lot, and I mean, to be fair, like I think the first time we went there was pretty soon after COVID.
Oh, yeah. So they didn't have as many people walking around.
Sorry. We went right before COVID with my parents. But even at that, it was soon after the opening, and it was like all of the characters were like up on like platforms up above kind of thing, where like you couldn't really see them.
The stormtroopers were rocking around.
Yeah. Again, you know, there was like, you know, they have them like Chewbacca was standing up on the platform above, waving at people. Like it feels like it's a lot of that. Whereas like these droids are very, you know, they're down in the crowd, and you know, there should be a lot more character interaction like that.
I've seen Chewbacca just wandering around though too, and that might have been like I know they do the little thing that they do where they're just kind of, you know, walking around fixing stuff and, you know, not even really interacting with the audience. But I have seen them walking around too before, and of course the stormtroopers walking around interacting with guests too. But you know, when the land was,
to be fair, when I was there, I didn't see a lot of that, and I feel like, if I didn't see it when I was there, that means that there's not enough of it. Because most people aren't like standing there all day waiting for a character interaction.
Yeah. Right? Oh, I get that. But I mean, there's definitely, I think there's more of it. I mean, but to be fair, when they announced this land and when they, you know, were pumping it up, this was supposed to be a thing, right? They were supposed to have free roaming droids going around, and, you know, and I remember at the time us talking about it and going, how are they going to do that? Because people are going to kick them, they're going to jump on them, and even like when they were doing that one that was kind of like that was kind of like the ones that, like the bigger, heavier ones, you know, that roam around. Like I remember they were testing one at one point that was autonomous, and it was a big one, and like they showed them testing it in the park, and like the first thing that someone did was jump on it, and it's like, that's why we can't have nice things. Like that's the problem right there. But these little guys are different, because I feel like no one's gonna like run up and pick them up, I think, or anything, because there's, especially,
I don't know, I mean,
too. Yeah.
If it can fit in a backpack, you know, somebody might try.
just grab it and run.
Yeah.
How far do you think you'd get before?
I mean, I don't think you would get out of Galaxy's Edge with one of those. No, to be honest,
there's no way. But yeah, no, these things are cool, and it's also just cool to see robots that are just, you know, walking on 2 legs like this too. I mean, that's becoming obviously more common, but it is Disney does make a lot of strides in robotics, that, you know, because they have a whole research lab, and we've seen that with the Groot robot, and we've seen that with these, and I know a lot of these too. I think they 3D print a lot of this stuff too, so it's really, really cool, and I think it's going to be awesome how like they are bringing this on the different ships. And I mean, it probably makes sense for the Wish because they have that Star Wars lounge there, right? So they can put it there. They probably don't have them just random, you know, wandering around the boat. But
I mean, I would be cool if droids were not limited to Galaxy's
Star
Edge
Wars,
or Star Wars areas. Yeah. Like, I would love to see them in Tomorrowland, not gonna lie, because like, why would you not have them in Tomorrowland?
Yeah,
or
actually,
just robots in Tomorrowland. Like,
it's like the new version of Push, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, Tomorrowland is a good spot for them, but I want to see more of this stuff. I want them to be doing this way more. It looks like they are. They're going to bring this to all the different parks around the world too. So yeah, cool.
All right. Okay, I guess the next thing is there's a Fantastic Four meet and greet coming to Disneyland.
Yeah, for the movie.
All right.
Yeah,
I
know you're out on Marvel, but I watched this trailer for Fantastic Four, and it looks pretty good. I mean,
Fantastic Four is like it's such a weird IP for starters. It's changed over the years, and when I was a kid, I remember reading the comics, and it was they had Spider-Man mixed in with there, and then there was a point where I can't remember, one of the characters was replaced with a robot at one point. Like it was, yeah. So, and it's funny that the show they're going with like the classic costumes, like these look like.
Well, yeah, 'cause it's a throwback. It's a throwback movie, so it's happening like I think in like the 70s, right?
Yeah. So it's interesting that they're doing. I guess it's predictable that they're doing a meet and greet for this, but I guess I don't know how popular this is going to be because the other thing about like Fantastic Four is I feel like it's never been like as big as some of the other IPs in Marvel, but maybe that's
because they've made a lot of bad Fantastic Four movies at this point.
I mean, yeah, there is that. Yeah, that's the other part too, is that it's been, I think it's been more miss than hit.
100%. 100%.
In terms of the movies, for sure.
Yeah, it has been, and I'm hopeful for this one because, like I said, first of all, there's really good people in it, and I did watch the trailer, and the trailer looked great. Honestly, it's just a teaser trailer, but the trailer looked really good, and that cool retro vibe that they're going for is very cool as well. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just jealous that there's any sort of superhero meet and greets happening that I can't go and do because they're over in Disneyland and not in Disney World. So
yeah, again, Disney World never gets any of the nice things because of you can't do Marvel. We all know why, but
stupid rights deals.
And I actually, so speaking of the robot, it sounds like so I'm just reading this article. They've said that so the robot's name is Herbie, which stands for Humanoid Experimental Robot B-Type Integrated Electronics.
Okay.
So Herbie is in the movie, and there's some speculation whether or not he'll appear in the meet and greet, which I guess that could add a layer to it. Is back to our point about talking about adding more robots to meet and greets, and like the droids in Galaxy's Edge. I guess if they did a Herbie that is similar to that could be interesting.
That could be interesting. We actually didn't even mention too. There was, and I didn't put it on here, but there was also like a tiny little animatronic that they premiered as well at South by Southwest. That was like riding in on the head of one of the little robots. I don't know if you saw that one, but I didn't see any video of it, so I didn't put it on here. But it was like a small animatronic. It was a character from the last Star Wars movie. Oh wait, there it is. I found the video of it now. There it is. But it's out there. It's actually pretty cool. I'll send you the video and you can go to the spot where it's at. But it's very cool. I meant to watch the whole South by Southwest thing. I just didn't get a chance to because it happened like last night. So
yeah, it's I mean, it's great that they do this stuff on a Saturday, but some of us are busy on Saturday.
Yeah. So I sent you that link. Go to 10 minutes and 30 seconds and you'll see what I'm talking about.
10 minutes. Okay. Sorry, YouTube is yelling at me. Give me a second.
It's I don't know if they're going to use this animatronic anywhere. Like, I don't know if it's going to be something or it's just like a, proof of concept kind of thing. where they're doing this little tiny animatronic that's sat on top of one of the droids, and it's the droid repair character guy from the last, what was it?
Oh, the little yeah. Okay, yeah.
But they have a full on animatronic of it.
Wow,
it's pretty cool actually. And it has him repairing the BDX droid.
He's fixing the droid as it's walking.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty impressive, honestly.
Wait, does it? Okay, I was gonna say if it gets off and like
it starts walking around. Yeah, no,
that would be wild. But
that's not.
Like it's just
he's just hanging up there, hanging out on top. Listen, it's still impressive. This entire thing is wireless. It's out there. It looks real. I mean, it's even just watching the video.
Wireless. There's a lot of wires sticking out of its head, but
but that's not what it's just cool because it looks real. It feels real. Yeah, I know you had to. It feels so real, and I mean, like all of these robots feel so real too. I mean, even just Jon Favreau, like looking at it. Like he just looks like he's kind of amazed by it himself. So
yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah. I guess that's the thing is that more of this kind of stuff would definitely make it. This goes back to we've talked about this before. How over time they've taken away a lot of the interactive elements from the parks. Right? This is definitely a way for them to bring it back in. And I guess yes, they have to build these robots and whatever, but I guess if they're cheaper to maintain than it is to pay actors to interact with people, then Disney will probably keep doing it.
Probably, yeah. That's a valid point. I mean,
I know that sounds awful, but
no, it doesn't. I do miss the days of Push and some of the other like
the residents the Hollywood studios actors that like the
I just even meant more like the technology things they used to do because like you used to have what was it, Lucky the dinosaur, right? Walking around, like that was a cool thing. They had the Muppets thing that would go around too. Like I mean, they just don't do that really as much as they used to.
But the thing about those is that those were all like none of those were autonomous. They were all
controlled
actors. Yeah, people.
Well, people. Lucky was semi-autonomous. Lucky was semi-autonomous. It was. That was like the whole thing about it. It was like the first one that they made that was like it had somebody controlling it, but it could like the interactions that it did with guests and stuff like that, where it was autonomous.
So it wasn't scripted necessarily how it reacted to people.
Correct. I mean, but that was, Lucky the Dinosaur was 2005. We're talking 20 years later now with more technology, or 2003, actually, 22 years ago. So it's, the technology is obviously getting better and better, very quickly here too. So, but they used to do a lot of that kind of stuff and they just kind of got away from it. But I feel like bringing this kind of thing back is good.
Yeah. Agreed. I think, is there anything else? Oh, right. Dinoland. Okay.
So the only reason I wanted to bring this up, I think, first of all, I think it's funny that Disney had to go back and clarify things because, they already said that when the stuff at Dinoland is closing, but I think people are confused. And I mean, they're not exactly clear here either, where they said,
like parts of it are shutting down is the problem. So it says, what can you actually do there?
Well, it says, is Dinoland still open? And it says yes. And you don't even need a time rover to visit Dinoland because parts of the area are currently open through 2025. Now, what does that mean? Like, when does it actually close? Obviously, I guess that means the whole year. This year, you'll be able to do it. But when it will close, there's still no closing date there. I will say, though, I don't know if you saw this, Trevor, but, the big green dinosaur, which some people used to call Cementosaurus, is gone. It has been knocked down. It's already gone. They did it overnight. Yeah, I saw pictures of it. Somebody said it was there one day, and then the next day it was gone. So they completely demolished it. All of Dinoland is pretty much demolished at this point, which is, some people are going to be sad about. I am a little sad about it because I did, I understand why they did it because it was cheap at the time and it was not very Disney-esque of them. It was a lower end of their abilities as far as Imagineering goes, and I think everyone knows that, right?
Yeah.
But there were still some cool aspects to it. I enjoyed the lore that they put around it. I also just kind of enjoyed the fun midway game of it, and just like the cartoony dinosaurs and all that. That was fun. But I'm happy that they're doing something new and something different, because they're actually putting the resources into it this time. But yeah, it is sad too, because my daughter loves that playground, and she liked the boneyard and all that stuff, and it's kind of sad that's
the boneyard's still open. Is the
for
thing.
now.
It's open through 2025. So I know, like, it's funny you just said, like, you know, Dinoland is pretty much closed, except Restaurant Stores is still open, Dinosaur's still open, the boneyard is still open, but yeah, the Triceratops spin is gone, Midway games are gone. A lot, like
Primeval World's been gone for a while.
Yeah, I mean, for me, yeah, Dinoland died when Primeval World went away from me. So it like, I really liked Primeval World. So it's, you know, to me, Dinoland's been gone for a while. But I guess, yeah, depending on what you're after, you can still go there and experience some of these things before they close up. And yeah, that's kind of what Disney's saying here is, you know, hey, you don't have to, you know, you don't have to completely avoid the area. There's still stuff to do there. But I guess, why would you want to go there is kind of my question.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a big dinosaur fan, I like Dinosaur. Yeah. Actually, I know a lot of people don't like that ride. I like it. I also think it has one of the most classic Disney pre-shows things, you know, of all time, just because it's the guy going, "We're in," you know, like
the terrible voice acting.
Yeah. No, just it's not even terrible. It's just like silly. It's, you know, and it's I don't know. And
it's campy is what it is.
It's a super campy one. Yeah. And I feel like it's one of the best ones. And it always made me laugh going through that pre-show. So
but it's no indie.
I understand.
Sorry, I know you like Dinosaur, but for me, it's always been the inferior ride.
Hold on.
So
hold on. I like Dinosaur. I'm not like obsessed with it. I'm happy for it to come in. Come on in.
Yeah, but I know, but it's just it is an inferior ride. I'm just gonna say it. It's for anyone who's defending it. You have not ridden Indy if you're defending Dinosaur. That's all I'll say.
It is kind of funny that, you know, with Dinoland specifically, where it didn't feel like it was one of those beloved things, right? Like where people are going to just be okay with it being gone. But then every time like Disney announces something's gone, it's all of a sudden everyone's favorite ride. Yeah. Well, right.
Well, it's the vocal minority
that's what it is.
Speaking up is what it is. And yeah, you know, there is definitely a subset of people that like Dinoland and that's fine. You know, I have some great memories there too, but, yeah, you're right. The whole aesthetic of it felt very out of place until I understood the backstory, which, to be fair, they didn't do a good job of conveying it because I had to go and do additional reading about it to really understand what the intent was there, which means that it was a failure because like the whole thing about, you know, storytelling through set pieces and the rides and all that is, it should be able to tell you the story without somebody having to like write a post on a website somewhere and go, okay, well, what they actually meant was like, So, you know, unfortunately, yes, there is definitely a cult following of Dinoland, but that definitely is not enough to keep it afloat. And I think the reason Disney did this post is that I'm sure as they've been walling off sections of it and, you know, and the rumor is getting around that it is going away, I wouldn't be surprised if people are just outright avoiding it right now. And which, you know, that hurts Disney because, you know, they do still have a restaurant open there. They still, you know, have a ride that they have to pay people to operate. And if there's nobody showing up for that stuff, then, you know, it is hurting them. So
sure.
You know, I feel like Disney is like trying to say, you know, hey, no, we're not, you know, we're trying to keep it open as long as we can, but it's actually kind of backfiring on them, which I think is kind of funny. It is.
I think they should just hang up a banner above Dinoland that says, "I assure you we're open," and
open during construction.
Yes, open during construction. Right? That would be pretty funny if they did that. But yeah, listen, I don't know if anybody's really going to miss Dinosaur, but I think, and especially if the Indiana Jones ride they build on top of it is going to be that much better, then I don't think anyone's really going to miss it.
I mean, even if they did a carbon copy of the one in California, it would be better. But they've said that they're not even doing that, so it's going to be better.
yeah, exactly. You're not wrong. But listen, this is all in the cause of progress, right? So we're okay with progress. I also think though, Trevor, too, and you're gonna hate me for what I'm about to say because this is you written all over it. This reminds me too of like Maelstrom, where I know people liked Maelstrom, but like it never had a wait ever. It was like Figment. If it was a busy day at Epcot, if there was like a 25-minute wait in Maelstrom, right? And then they get rid of it, and then now everybody's the biggest Maelstrom fan of all time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. It is the same thing that, it's not until they take it away that, people suddenly go, oh, hold on.
No, but wait, I love that thing. Yeah. I ignored it for 10 years, but I love it.
I mean, I did like Maelstrom.
I do too. Yeah.
Between that and Frozen, I would still take Maelstrom over Frozen, but
that's fair.
I also know that it's not coming back.
Well, yeah, no, that's Maelstrom's not coming back. That's gone. That's gone forever. So, all right. Well, anyway, so I'm not going to play Food Time for this, mostly because there's only a little bit of food to talk about here. But I also don't want to wear people out of Food Time. So the last thing we have on here,
you need to just cut it's Food Time, like just the singing part of Food Time.
Someone just going Food Time. That's it.
and then that's it. Yeah,
that's it. Okay,
it's short
Food Time. That's what I'll do. I'll have to have like a short, quick one. But so this is food. We're going to talk about food for Season of the Force at Disneyland. This is basically Star Wars themed eats, right?
Yep, starting May the 4th, which
of course,
yeah,
because of course, the second day of my cruise. But it's funny too. I realized, Trevor, that Sunday that you and I will be together in Magic Kingdom is Mother's Day, and I know I didn't realize it, and then I was like, oh, that'll be a good way for you to spend. I said to my wife, I was like, that's going to be a good way for you to spend Mother's Day. We're going to get to spend the day at Magic Kingdom. So yeah. Anyway,
and mine and my brother's wives get a day without us, so
Well, that's a gift to them. Yeah, that's a huge gift. Yeah, I'm
they not having to supervise their husbands.
That's always helpful. Yeah. We'll just do new things like we typically do. But down at Oga's, looks like there's a new ale of some sort. What is it? White Wampa Ale, whatever that is, with apple cider and cherry puree. That's interesting sounding. I actually might drink that.
That's that red, the red with the white on the bottom. Looks like.
Where's the one in the middle?
No, it's the one on the right for the three pictures. But it looks like you poured grenadine on top of milk, which I don't know that I want that.
That's fair.
And I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that either. NE''TRA.
Netrigal. Is that a reference to something?
I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's a Star Wars fan out there yelling at their radio or something.
If I kept up on all the different shows, I would probably know what that's referring to. I mean, the one after it, which has come back, the Grinning Loth Cat. I know that Loth Cats are from Rebels. So
see, I thought that was the one all the way to the right there because it has the coconut milk in it, and I took it as, maybe it is the. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you could be right. That could be it. I'm not really sure. They don't really mark them, so
yeah, it would be nice if they actually labeled the pictures.
That would be nice. Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice?
Let's go to Ronto Roasters though, because a fried Falumpasette cheese skewer. I feel like I'm making up words, but I guess somebody else did.
You actually said that pretty well. I was going to pronounce that differently in my head, and I think you did it the correct way. So
a Falumpasette cheese skewer with crispy potato and mustard cheese dipping sauce, which it looks like a corn dog.
Corn dog? Yeah. But it's cheese though, so it's more like a mozzarella stick on a stick.
I see
with potatoes.
There's a Korean street food place in my city that does corn dogs like this. So it's a corn dog, but they wrap it. Yeah, they roll it in cheese and all kinds of other stuff. And it's it looks good. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Should go down to the Grill here.
But I did want to touch on the milk tea though.
Okay, spiced milk tea.
Yes, so milk tea, horchata jelly, and caramel sugar crisp. I mean,
what is horchata jelly?
So horchata is it's like a rice milk.
Oh no, I'm familiar with horchata. I've never heard of horchata jelly.
I don't know what horchata jelly would be like, but I'm assuming it. I mean, it just adds a horchata flavor to the drink, which yeah, should be good.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Should we go to Galactic Grill here?
Yeah, this is the most boring thing I've ever seen for a Star Wars.
It just does look pretty standard, doesn't it?
Yeah, the Galactic. Okay, is it?
Gyro?
A gyro? Yeah. Okay.
Growing up, I always called them gyros, and that was in my area. But like I know other places they call them, gyros.
Yeah, I've never been clear on that, but it's a beef and vegetable patty, Havarti cheese slice, feta tzatziki sauce, cucumber, tomato, red onion, served on a toasted ciabatta bun, which the picture makes it look worse than it is. It sounds okay, but it just looks like
like a boar.
Yeah, it looks like just the most basic burger, but they threw it on ciabatta bun.
But listen, the next thing, the loaded outpost fries,
the mountain of fries.
Dumped a bunch of stuff. Listen, I'm not going to complain. Crinkle cut fries and onion rings topped with barbecue pulled pork, cheddar, Monterey Jack blend, pickled red onions, roasted corn, sour cream drizzle, and green onions. It literally looks like they just took a pile of fries, a pile of onion rings, and just dumped a whole bunch of delicious things on top of it. I would eat that. That looks delicious to me.
Yeah, and the fact that they didn't try and claim it's poutine, which is nice, because it's just loaded fries, and rightfully so. These are loaded fries. And yeah, I'm there with you. This is an easy, sit down and go into a food coma after eating this pile of food.
By the way, Trevor, I have to.
Yeah.
So I went down a Disney rabbit hole yesterday on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I started watching some Disney food blog videos, which, they produce really nice videos and stuff. And they were doing their best dishes of Flower and Garden. And you know what their top best dish was, Trevor?
That poutine. Terrible poutine.
The poutine. They said it was amazing. And I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, oh, Trevor would be so mad if he was watching this right now.
It's fine if it's a good dish, but stop calling it something that it's not.
The other thing they mentioned the dips. Remember, half the stuff we made fun of on here were the things that they said were the best at the festival.
Maybe they're listening to us.
Maybe. They also said that strawberry shortcake was amazing too, even though it was very basic, but they said it was very good. And so were the dips. And okay.
Yeah, the dips still looked very like the least.
Very basic.
I know they can say it's good, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not
sorry.
I'm not there for chips and dip, but yeah, we're getting sidetracked.
Back to Galactic Grill.
To Galactic Grill.
Pistachio cherry parfait. Layers of pistachio mousse, red velvet cake, cherry pie filling, chocolate pearls, and chocolate popping spheres.
You had me until the cherry pie filling.
You had me until pistachio.
Really? See, the pistachio I don't mind. I would do pistachio. The cherry pie filling, I love
cherry pie.
I'm not into cherry pie at all.
Oh, I love cherry pies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you could take out the cherry pie layer, this would actually be top notch for me.
Very appealing to you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fair.
I mean, I guess I could eat around it. Just eat the first top, because it's all nicely layered. So I eat the top two layers, dump out the cherry pie filling, and then continue eating the rest.
Just dump out that. I want to dump out the pistachio part.
There you go. Hey, that makes
that's the majority of it, though. That's the majority of it, though. I can't dump that out. So yeah. Okay.
But if if it's layered, so you can selectively dump out the stuff you don't want, that actually makes it a good. A good option, because you can pick your way through it. Yeah. If it's all mixed together, you can't do that. So
that is true. So to find another thing new, we have to go all the way down.
Yeah, I'm scrolling real fast, and I don't see. Okay, we're at the Death Star bucket.
We're at popcorn buckets and sippers. So I'm surprised it took them this long to do a Death Star bucket. It feels like an obvious popcorn bucket thing to do, right?
It's honestly the easiest popcorn bucket because it's literally just a big ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how did it take them this long to do it? But listen, again, it looks very cool.
It has all the LEDs.
Yeah. It looks big too, but I like that it has the LEDs, that light up on it. That's very cool. And then there's a coaxium sipper. Which, listen, again, also looks very themed and cool. I'm not going to complain. It looks cool. I like it. I assume that it's just the bottle that's in the front there, or does it go in that thing that's
I would assume it goes into that thing. It looks like you've got like a holder for it, which again is kind of cool if it's like an insulated thermos kind of thing. Like that's actually
probably costs like $80.
Yeah. But in thinking about it, having insulated cups or sipper cups that are insulated, I know these are being offered at Disneyland, but in Disney World, I would love to have an insulated drink cup that I could carry around with me because it gets so hot there, right?
No, you're 100% right. Then there's a Yoda stainless steel tumbler, which is pretty much just Yoda on a tumbler.
This looks like something you could pick up at Target.
This feels like the collectible things you used to get from McDonald's, like back in
the tumblers you get from McDonald's.
Yeah, you get the cups and all that stuff.
Although I guess I don't hate it, but it still feels pretty. I guess it's whelmed. It's not underwhelming, but it's just whelming.
It's just like it's basic. Right?
it's kind of mid.
Feeling very whelmed. Yeah. This next thing though is pretty cool though, I will say.
A Mythosaur mug? That is
cool.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it's plastic, but it looks very cool.
And hey, it's served with that weird ale that we can't pronounce. The Nutrigal ale.
The Nutrigal Al or whatever it is. Nutrigal Al. I've been watching Home Improvement, so I got Al in my head from Home Improvement. So.
Or it's NutriBullet. I don't know.
Nutrigal Ale.
Yeah.
I would just say Nutrigal Al all the time.
I feel like it's Netrigal because there's no U in there. It's Netrigal. Yeah.
Netrigal.
Netrigal. Okay. Yeah.
I'm sure someone will correct us because it's probably a reference to something we don't know about.
Okay. This next thing.
I like this. You don't like this?
These lightsaber swizzle sticks.
But look how they light up the drink. It's so cool.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the blue raspberry slushy looks good.
It does, yeah.
But yeah, just having a lightsaber sticking out of my drink doesn't feel like it's doing a lot for me.
I get that, but I just like that it's all lit up and looks like a lightsaber. It's just kind of cool.
Yeah.
No?
I guess okay, you have two options. So the blue one is blue raspberry and the Darth Vader one is Coca-Cola slushy. Which would you do for a slushy?
Coca-Cola slushy always.
Really?
I love Coca-Cola slushy, yeah.
See, I'm on the blue raspberry side. I'll always go for something blue raspberry.
Yeah, see, I would always like and I don't know how ubiquitous of an experience this is because we don't have a lot of 7-Elevens down here, but we did, 7-Elevens like around every corner up in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And I would always, you'd always go there as a kid and go and get a Slurpee. And they always had the Coca-Cola flavor. Like they, sometimes they'd have like cherry or other things, but Coca-Cola was always there,
Oh, it's still, I mean, we still have, like Slurpees are absolutely a thing up here. Even I know it sounds crazy that it's cold here like 8 months of the year, but we still love our Slurpees. And I guess that's the thing is like a Coca-Cola Slurpee to me feels like that's the basic choice. Like you you always go for the other flavors because you can always find the Coke flavor.
I'm a simple man, Trevor. I'm a simple man.
That's fair.
We got more sippers than popcorn buckets, by the way.
Wow, they're really going all in on it.
Yeah. So this acid spitter orb one sipper is not new. So they had that one last year.
We have
they
have
that one now.
Yeah, bucket.
A tauntaun bucket.
Where do you think you get the popcorn from?
Should be from like its stomach, right?
Yeah, it doesn't look like the stomach opens up, and I feel like there's a missed opportunity.
That's a missed opportunity. Yeah, you should have to eat the popcorn from its stomach.
served with that popcorn that you would get from the circus that's red.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
The pink. Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah. That's. It doesn't even look like that big of a popcorn bucket. I feel like you could have like a handful of popcorn stored in that thing.
Yeah. I take my Death Star over a Tauntaun.
Oh,
for sure.
100%. There's also a Jawa sipper too, which is pretty cool looking. Actually, I kind of like that one.
Jawas are always so cute.
Yeah,
I know that they're like these like scavengers that dismantle droids, but they just always look so cute.
They do. And then there's also the salvage clone trooper bucket, which they had a similar one at Disney World, but this one's a little different.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought, or was it a sipper that they had?
No, they had. I think it was a popcorn bucket, but it was. I think the key here is the clone trooper piece. I think. Yeah.
So slightly different design.
Slightly different.
Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But it's there, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Wait,
what else do we have? I think that's. Oh no, there's a whole Star Wars After Dark.
I'm just laughing at the porg belly sandwich. Which is, how did it take them this long to make that pun?
Yeah. That seems like low hanging fruit, though.
It does, right? Yeah. Porg, like, the whole porg thing. One of the funniest parts was it the second movie in that trilogy where Chewbacca's eating one of the porgs and one of the other porgs is just staring at him eating it.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, I know you didn't love those trilogies, but the porgs were adorable, at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, the porgs were definitely. I think they were one of the more redeeming aspects of those movies, for sure.
Yeah. I agree. So I think that's really it. I don't think I have anything else here. I mean, I don't know if you have anything.
I think that was plenty. Honestly, I think we covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, definitely a lot. So let's wrap it up.
All right. So as usual, if you guys want to reach out to us, you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from you guys, sharing your own trip reports, asking questions, all the usual stuff. So don't be afraid to email us if you ever want to get a hold of us. Similarly, you can also find us on various social media platforms. We are on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast, YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast, and Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. Make sure on Facebook you check out our group, Welcome Home Disney Waitlist, where we talk about all kinds of stuff from the show, and you can see, lots of different meme posts and people sharing their own trip reports and all that kind of stuff. We love seeing that. I do want to give a shout out to everybody who posted refrigerator stuff after our
that was a
episode last week. I'll admit I forgot for about a day and a half, and then I started seeing refrigerator stuff and I was like, what was this again? And then I remembered what I said at the end of the last episode. So
we do forget a lot.
Yeah. But I appreciate that, some of you listened and, it feels good to know that people are listening to the end of the show and that they're not just shutting it off when we get up to this point. Greatly appreciate that. Check out our group and follow us on all those platforms. If you want to help support the show, you can go to store.welcomehomepodcast.com and check out our different merch there. It's, all good stuff for, if you need shirts for your next trip or you want some mugs, we got a good selection of stuff there. We do also have a Patreon, so you can go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod and check out all of our different levels of Patreon support. Our Patreon supporters get exclusive logo merch that you can't get through the store. So that's one of the things that we offer for our Patreon listeners. And also our Patreon listeners get access to the Discord server, which is yet another place that we talk about everything that we talk about on these shows. And I'll put it out there again. If you guys have some of our merch, if you're heading to Disney, or actually, even if you're heading to the mall, I'd love to just, see, post pics of your Welcome Home merch. We love seeing that you guys are enjoying it. So, throw that in the group if you're, or maybe you're going to buy a refrigerator. I don't know. And last but not least, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere, leave us a 5-star review. It's just helps promote the show, helps us, get to more people. And you can also write us a review on iTunes and share what you think about the show, which, we love hearing, and we do read out those reviews. Usually at this point, I don't know if we have any new ones. Tom?
Not this week, no.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, but like I said, please leave us a review. Let us know what you think about the show.
Yeah, and also don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube Music, just about any podcast app that's out there. You can find us. And if there's one that you want to listen to us, on and we're not there, just send us an email. I'll get us on there as soon as I can. So. But we should be everywhere. I can't imagine that we're not on a service at this point. But just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult a Disney cast member or DVC representative for more information about anything we talked about today. Huge thank you to DVC Resale Market for sponsoring this episode, and to World of DVC for continuing to support our show. Please check them out for any of your DVC-related needs. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no